Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the European recap for Rlcs League Play Week 4. Now, definitely a little bit more interesting than some weeks in Europe. Some teams surprised, some teams disappointed. Some good matches to talk about this week. Let's get into it. As always, if you guys do enjoy, hit subscribe. And without further ado, let's get into it. First match of the evening was Veloce versus Singularity. Now, Singularity, complete disappointment. Godsmilla hasn't done a single thing since... Oh god, was it since their game against Vitality? Somehow they were able to take down Vitality, given Vitality was looking pretty weak. That was before Vitality fixed their issues, but still, you guys should not be playing this bad. I think that Noli and Tho, they had looked decent at times. Noli probably the best on that team. Godsmilla just hasn't done anything, man, just nothing at all. But credit to Veloce, they look so good. Cassio coming in with that super clean offense that we saw last week. So Veloce, definitely a fun match to watch just because, I mean, we've never seen Veloce look real good before. Like, people thought it was a fluke that they made Worlds last season. Well, now they have an offense to say, hey, we belong in Worlds. Their defense is really good too. I mean, they have some of the best defense in Europe, actually. And yeah, Veloce looking like a very solid team. Next up, Renault Vitality versus ASM. Another one of those teams that I'm just so disappointed in. Tigre, probably the most disappointing EU player in RLCS right now. Just nothing, absolutely nothing out of him. We saw extra. There was a little bit of something versus Mousesports in week 1 or 2 when he had that flip reset dunk over Cookser. And then ignite can't shoot for his life. ignite just limp dicks shots onto goal. And that's when he's able to take shots. Usually his shooting percentage is so low. Just a team that is looking at auto relegation. God, it's so frustrating watching that team. It's a boring watching that team. But Vitality, oh my god. Alpha 54 coming out with some nice plays. K-Dop just did everything this week. And that Fairy Peak was a little quiet, but that's only because he didn't need to do anything. They didn't need him to do anything. I mean, they're only playing ASM. K-Dop and Alpha, plenty. It was plenty for them. And they took home the victory pretty convincingly. And then match number 3, Veloce versus Endpoint. God... Again, Endpoint, what are you guys doing? I will admit, Relating Waves started off the series with some banger shots. I think he scored 4 goals in game 1. It was crazy. I didn't think Endpoint had any offense at all. Virtuoso and Nachitao just, again, did nothing as usual. But Relating Wave really trying to put that team on his back. But at the end of the day, Flame and Freaky both had to step up. And Flame actually played a very good series against Endpoint. Cassio, of course, getting in the mix. Veloce... It was definitely a more defensive game. I think the game versus Singularity that Veloce had, their offense looked a lot better. But, you know, that's the thing about Veloce now. Now that Veloce's found this second playstyle, this offensive playstyle that works, now they're able to switch between their two playstyles. And in this specific game, Endpoint, who has no offense either, Endpoint was just relying strictly on defense. Well, Veloce said, hey, our defense definitely is better than yours, so we're going to go back to our defensive playstyle, and we're going to smack you around. And Endpoint lost all the offense they had when Relating Waves stopped popping off, so... Now, I was hoping it would be more of an interesting series, but nah, honestly wasn't even that fun of a series to watch. But Veloce got the dub at the end of the day. Then Reciprocity versus Barcelona. Shawzet, just extreme disappointment. Oh my god. I said for the last couple of weeks that I'm kind of on the Shawzet train now, because the first couple of weeks of RLCS, Shawzet came out popping off, looking like one of the best teams in the world. And now Shawzet can't do anything. It's like he has no clue how to position himself on the field. He's back to how he was performing at RLCS Worlds back in Season 8. Just a pathetic performance. Farah is the only person trying to keep this team together at this point. But Barcelona, amazing performance from all of them. Devo with an insane amount of saves. Just, oh my god, Devo had 10 saves in one game, a total of 20 saves throughout the whole 4 games. Devo was on fire. Devo won Player of the Day because his defense... I mean, I will say Reciprocity was putting on shots, but they were not quality shots. Some of them were quality shots, but a lot of them were just weak shots. Shots that just were not going in, doing nothing. Like, the reason Devo got 10 saves is because he had... A lot of them were easy saves to make. Well, easy in respect to Devo being an RLCS player, you know. I probably wouldn't have an easy time making a lot of those saves, but, I mean, for a player of Devo's caliber, they're those saves, that's all day. He saves those all day. Like, you can't just keep putting on bad shots onto goal. Again, I say bad shots in quotes because to anyone else it's a good shot. To an RLCS player, it's a bad shot. But yeah, I mean, and Flakes. Oh my god, Flakes scored a musty flick in the Proteus. Flakes was popping off. Ronicky didn't need to do a lot, but that was basically because they didn't need him to do anything. And Ronicky did still help out, but it was mostly the Devo and Flakes show. Devo did great on offense and defense. Yeah, and Flakes, of course, on offense. It was just a great team effort by Barcelona. Just an amazing match to watch. Reciprocity really got to step it up. I need to see more from them. Shazet can't keep showing up and doing nothing, right? So I'm off the Shazet train now. I lost confidence in Reciprocity. Reciprocity is now number 5 in the standings, right above Mouse Esports, right below Barcelona. I can't believe Veloce started to take off the way they have. Like, that really adds a whole new element to this top 6. And okay, TSM versus ASM. It was a great halftime show. I'm really glad that Sonics gave us all a break in midway through the stream. You know, I was able to get up and stretch my legs, get something to eat, take a quick nap, and then after all that, when I came back, this horrible disaster of a match was over, and we were able to get back into the good matches. Like, Jesus Christ! All jokes aside, this match was so boring. Like, it was like watching 2 toddlers try to grab something off the top shelf, and you just feel bad as you sit back and watch them, and maybe, you know, you feel like maybe you should chime in and help them out because they're just small and weak, and you know that they're just embarrassing themselves, but at the same time, it's also so funny watching them struggle to grab that thing off the top shelf that you just sit back and watch. You know, that's what it was like watching a TSM versus ASM match. It was just like, it was laughable. It was like watching 2 toddlers whack the ball around. Absolutely no offense from either team, no defense, it's just a shit show. Barely any offense from TSM. This is the first time all season Remco has done anything, and it's because it was against a team like ASM. And then again, Tigre does nothing. It was just not a good match to watch. I don't want to talk about it any more than I have to. It was a snooze fest. It was a great time to take a nap. But Dignitas versus Mouse. You can't help but feel like this is a series Mouse should have won. Mouse went up 2-0. Mouse were ahead by 1 goal with 25 seconds left. Dignitas were shut out in that final game, or in that game 3. But then Dignitas pulled together an insane passing play to score with 25 seconds left, and they reverse sweep Mouse. God, and I feel like Mouse should have won that. It was their game to lose, but credit to Dignitas, because when they really started to turn it on in those final 25 seconds, they turned it on. Like, they looked like a completely different team. Before that, Mouse was outpacing them. Dignitas couldn't string together anything. Astro was so quiet. Violent Panda wasn't doing anything. And the whole Mouse roster was looking great. Speed was getting involved. But then Dignitas, they turned it on and they started dominating. Astral's mechanics went from 0 to hero. He was just like unstoppable with an incredible double touch right at the beginning of game 4. It was not a bad loss by Mouse at all. It was a quality loss. Both teams looked amazing. If Mouse is able to play like that the rest of league play, they're never gonna lose another match. And remember, Mouse have they don't really have an easy schedule, but they have it's like a mid schedule that they have. I'd say a mid-tier schedule. They have to play TSM next week, which that's Freelo, that's a easy win. Then they play Veloce, which that's really gonna be a good match to watch, especially because those teams as of right now are looking so close. But Mouse, I think, has the upper edge after this game. Then they're gonna play Renault Vitality, which it really depends. Are we gonna get Vitality in their prime, or are we going to get Vitality when they're not really looking good with Alpha 54? You know, it's kind of a toss-up with Renault Vitality at this point. They've had a couple good weeks, a couple bad weeks. Then they play Endpoint in Barcelona. So Endpoint, that's a free win, and then Barcelona, they're gonna struggle. I don't know if I could see them winning that one, but you know, Mouse definitely have 2 or 3 wins left for sure, and then a couple more losses I can see them having. But who knows, if Mouse really turn it up, they can grab the top 4 spot, no problem. Or on the other hand, they might struggle to even make playoffs. Who knows? You don't know. And yep, as I promised, I kept Europe very short. Well, shorter than normal. I'm looking at my Audacity. It says only 12 minutes I've wasted of your time, and when I edit this, it'll be like 10 minutes. So yep. Thank you guys for watching. Obviously, let me know your opinions. What did you guys think of this week's matches? There is a double header next week, so I'm going to have 2 prediction videos coming out. One for week 5 and one for week 6, aka the double header on Monday. So yeah, it's going to be some good ones, and then next week we'll have 2 recap videos, so stay tuned for that. As always, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.